To be or not to be, that is the question whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer those things and hours of outrageous fortune to consequence, to see of troubles and by posing in them, to die, to sleep, pretend to dream. You get the idea.
The Micro Machine Man here, presenting the genuine, original, colossally collectible, most miniature replicas of the real things, Micro Machines.
A lot of people know me as the Micro Machine Man, or the FedEx guy, or Terrible Tester Birdie from Saved by the Bell, or just that guy who talks fast. In fact, I was in the Guinness Book as the world's fastest talker, and so, for the last 40 years, if you needed a fast talker, I was your go-to guy. Is that okay? Did you get everything you need? I mean, I can repeat it again if you want. You sure you don't want me to do it again? Because I can do it again. That's no problem. I'll just do another take for you because of what it's going to take. When I was 12 years old, I wanted to get into the Guinness Book of World Records. So I figured the only thing I could really do, since I wasn't going to eat a car or swallow lead pipe, was to lock myself in a room and teach myself fast talking. And I did that with the Hamlet soliloquy. To be or not to be, that is to be or not to be, that is to be or not to be, that is the question whether social or years later, I'm at this party, fancy California Beverly Hills party, and a friend of mine is trying to pick up this Valley girl. He's from New York and talking pretty quickly, and she looks at him and says, like, oh my gosh, are you like the world's fastest talker? And he says, no, as a matter of fact, this person is. They called me over and I did one of my little party routines. And a guy walked over and he says, that's incredible, I'm a producer and I'm going to put you on a show. I went on the show and I did the fast talking thinking that would be it. And all of a sudden the phone starts ringing, I'm booked all over the place and I managed to make a living out of it. I can speak as fast as 11 words a second. Now, I never do 11 words a second for TV. Well, let me do Peter Piper at 11 words a second. Peter Piper, and you kind of hear me going pub, but that's really all you're kind of getting. But when you do TV, there's visual reinforcement. People see you and do whatever. So I do about 7 to 8 words a second. That would sound something like Peter Piper, Now on radio, I have to do it even a little slower because you have no visual reinforcement, you're not seeing me. So then I do about 5 to 6 words a second. So it sounds something like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickle peppers, a peck of pickle peppers did Peter Piper pick it. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickle peppers, was the peck of pickle peppers Peter Piper picked. And that's kind of the secret to my success, because if you can't understand what I'm saying, they're not gonna pay me the big bucks. Now, the very first commercial I did was the Federal Express commercial. It is, to this day, the most award-winning commercial in the history of advertising. The final scene, I'm sitting behind a desk, and I'm going, Dave, what's the deal? With the deal are we dealing? Dave, it's a deal with Don. If it's a deal with Doc.
The deal, good. I'm putting you down to deal with Dick. Dick, what's the deal?
So I did the thing like 29 times without making a mistake. And the director said to me, what are you, like a machine? You never make a mistake? I said, you want a mistake? I'll give you a mistake the next time. So I said, Dave, it's a dork with Dick, Don, and Duck. And that's the take he ended up putting in the commercial.
It's a deal with Dave, Dick, and Dave. Don, it's a dork with Dick, Dave, and Duck.
Don, it's a dork with Dick, Dave, and Duck.
The first time I saw it, I called him and said, John, it's our little secret. Although I'm known as the world's fastest talker, I do not choose to live my entire life in the fast lane. Sometimes I just like to take it all a little slower. But sometimes it's really, really good to be fast.
The paper airplane you folded in middle school, horrible design. But I've thrown a paper airplane 214 feet. I'm John Collins. I am the paper airplane guy, world record holder for paper aircraft distance. So the year we got the record was 2012. It was, one of the great days in my life, actually. I look back at my child being born and the world record. Those are great moments for me. I named the world record plane after my wife. The name of the design is Suzanne. This is how you fold Suzanne. You start with the short side of the paper up, top of the page, and put it against the right side. So now when you unfold that, you've got an X in it. After that is to take the right hand straight down from the top of the plane. You fold the plane in half. It's just 8 simple folds. There are a lot of different kinds of folding techniques and a lot of different kinds of paper airplanes. There's planes that boomerang back. There are planes that are made to fly straight very far. There are planes that are made to stay in the air for a long time. Every great paper airplane, distance or time aloft, has very accurate folding. Most people want to know how I got into paper airplanes, and the reality is I never got out of them. I am curious by nature. I love math and science. The cool thing about paper airplanes is it's a way to actually discover something real about flight. What most people don't know is that we don't know the exact cause and effect for lift. Every little paper airplane throw is like a little science experiment. Here's the laboratory right here in your hand that you could use to do real science. Teachers kind of don't like kids to do paper airplanes. It has this bad boy kind of renegade reputation. If they could discover that paper airplanes actually are science, that they're doing science and having fun doing it, I think that's an incredible breakthrough. Paper airplane throwing class, yes.
I set the record for the lowest limbo of 8.5 inches in 2010. Very proud of that. My name is Shamika Campbell, and I am a world-class limbo dancer. I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, which is also where limbo dance originated. It was a dance that wakes to symbolize entering from one life to another. Now today is literally everywhere. I got into the art of limbo at the age of 14. My grandmother was a limbo dancer. My mother was a limbo dancer, and it's only right that I'm a limbo dancer. I had to carry on that legacy, not only for my family, but also for my culture as well. Physically, I am very flexible. I do my daily stretches. I can't really feel normal stretches, so I had to create my own to where I would really feel the stretch in my legs. I get a little crazy sometimes, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Limbo Queen, Shamika Campbell!
In order to make it under 8.5 inches, I have to hold my breath in order to contort my body to make it under the bar. At the same time, I have to think about my arms, I have to think about my positioning. I move side to side just to show that I'm still suspended. I start to move actually physically under the bar, and that's pretty much when I'm able to let the air out, and that's when I will get up. It's very, very, very hard to do. The pain that I feel during practicing and pushing myself, that comes with it, but that's one of the things that really drew me to limbo. It was something that I couldn't do easily. I love the challenge. Me making it under this bar perfectly every time, it means the absolute world. I pretty much limbo any and everywhere. I've been on America's Got Talent twice. I've been on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. I've been on the Late Late Show with James Corden. When I see people's reactions and how appreciative they are of my ability to do this, it's just amazing. All right. I absolutely love limbo. I love everything about it. People think that limbo is just for fun. For Trinidadians like myself, it's really a big part of our culture. I feel like that's where my job comes in, to really show you this is more than just a fun little activity.
BMX is a fast-paced sport. From the time that gate drops until you cross the finish line, you're always thinking about your next move. As long as I can keep those two wheels on the ground, I'm going to be out there on that track. My name is Kitty Westenauer, and I am 70 years old. I am the oldest female BMX racer in the United States. I have been involved in the sport of BMX racing as a racer for 30 years now. Now, I love challenges, and this was just another challenge. When I began racing BMX, there was no women's cruiser class. I worked with our sanctioning bodies and talked about the fact that women want to be a part of this. We now have thousands of women and girls who race throughout the country.
Here we go, 56 and over women. 70 years young. Miss Kitty Westenauer sitting in that 3 slot, more total point.
Throughout each year, I will do anywhere from 25 to 30 races. And quite often, I'm racing much, much younger women. I finished 7th in the world in the 45 and over women's cruiser class. I was the oldest female to participate in the UCI BMX Worlds. It's just unbelievable. This can be a dangerous sport. In 1993, I was involved in an accident where, after falling off of my bike, I broke my neck. I was told that I might not be able to walk again. But within 6 months, I was back to racing. And I have continued to be involved in the sport.
Miss Kitty. Morning, Miss Kitty.
Thank you, thank you. Good ride. You know, people have asked me, how long do I plan to keep racing BMX bikes? I tell people age is nothing but a number, and I seriously mean that. Every time I get out on that track, I win. And it's not about crossing first, second, or third, but it's about having fun. It's about the enjoyment of being with others who really enjoy this sport. I want to continue to enjoy life, and this is a part of my life.
We didn't really have any fast stackers from Texas until he came along.
Like, I couldn't really believe my eyes. Like, I was in shock.
His hands, like, they were always moving, and it was like there was no like thinking about where to put it. It was just like a non-stop, just like brrr.
He's off the charts. He's like as fast as a lightning bolt.
My name is Trey Griffin, and I am the fastest cup stacker in the state of Texas. My goal is to be the fastest cup stacker in the whole entire world.
When I first saw Trey begin cup stacking, I was thrilled. Kids on the spectrum are always very passionate and very intense on what their fixation is. And he just shined. I mean, you could see that he was in his element. He was comfortable, he was alive, and he was just doing his thing.
Trey took it to a completely different level. He was doing it systematically instead of just kind of for fun, and it was all about getting that next best time. What Trey does in 5 or 6 seconds takes me 10 or 12, 13 seconds. We've learned not to ever discount what he says he's going to do.
Sport stacking is using a set of 12 plastic cups, and you stack them in a very specific sequence of pyramids, and you are racing yourself and you're racing a timer.
It's a sport that you don't have to be tall. You don't have to necessarily be able to run quickly. As long as you've got the 12 cups, you've got a mat, and you've got a timer, you can stack. To me, it's just mind-boggling to see these stackers like Trey and his friends, and you can tell they're not even looking at the cups that they're stacking. It is all muscle memory. I mean, it's so fast when they get to this level that the naked eye cannot see it all. When I found out that I was having a boy, of course, I thought about when I was a boy and playing catch with my dad in the backyard, and you flash forward, you know, thinking about those types of things with your kiddo. But when Trey found stacking, it's like, okay, cool, here's a sport that he's into, and it's got speed. I've always loved sports with speed, And it's got rhythms which make him happy. And I realized what a better way to bond with my child than to learn how to stack myself. I get to stand next to my son, who's one of the fastest in the world, and stack with him and be a part of something special.
Watching the two of them stack together are probably some of the best moments I've ever had. Our motto has always been, the family that stacks together stays together. We go to these tournaments together, we've traveled together, we've made friends all over the country, all over the world. I mean, it's definitely enriched our lives.